second presenter is 陈建涵老师 from 国立台北教育大学师资培育处。Our third presenter is 阳明交大国际高教培训暨认证中心薛永文老师。And then the fourth presenter will be 王玉慧老师 from 屏科大农企业管理系。Okay, since today we only have 4 presentations and it is scheduled to last for 2 hours, so our time is quite flexible. But I was told that every presentation is supposed to be around 15 minutes. But yeah, keep that in mind, but we will keep that flexible. So supposedly you should spend 1 minute to briefly explain your lesson plan. And I think since we have more time, maybe you can even briefly introduce yourself a little bit, and maybe including your student's background, etc. And then you are supposed to conduct 10 minutes teaching demonstration, and then the last 4 to 5 minutes will be the Q&A session. But I think maybe we will have the group discussion at the end of the presentation, right? So that we can keep the session to finish the session around 12 o'clock. And I forget to introduce myself. I'm your moderator, Zheng. So thank you. My background is transportation management. So my job is to keep traffic less congested. And I'm teaching Zheng University, and I'm really interested in EMI. That's why I'm here. Okay, so let's have our. I think we should have our first presenter, Li老师.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Yeah, I would like to welcome you to this teaching demonstration. Let me introduce myself first. My name is Li Chuang. I am Associate Professor of Department of Physical Therapy at長庚University. Okay. And in the next 1 minute, I'm going to briefly overview about my teaching plan regarding 3 goals that I made for this 10 minutes mini talk. First, at the end of the class, I think the student will be defined stroke and also know the stroke type. And the second one is student will be identified the negative and the positive side and the symptom about stroke. Finally, students will be able to summarize the specific test for the stroke. So they will know how to execute the 3 tests to identify if a person has a stroke onset. And then they will call for the help and put the proper position. So this is the first part of the class. And also, as for the teaching strategy, this is a lecture-based class, but I will also including like a demonstration practice for the students. And about the assessment method that I will apply in the class, I will using Slido for the multiple choice quiz for them to have performed at pre-assessment and post-assessment. Okay, now I'm going to So the two major I would like to welcome you to this course, Introduction of Stroke. I am the lecturer from, so if you have any question, let me know. And we are going to talk about stroke. Why? Because stroke, based on statistics, the cause of death in Taiwan in last year, 2023, the stroke, or you can say cerebral vascular accident, initial CVA, is the fourth leading cause of the death. So it's very important. A couple minutes that everyone died because of stroke. And this is Department of Statistics at the Ministry of Health and Welfare. And you can see from this table, it's very clear to outline CVA or stroke, the leading cause in Taiwan. Therefore, today I'm going to divide my main point to three parts. That is also your learning objective. First, after this class, you will be able to find stroke, the main type of the stroke. And I also want to identify symptoms after stroke. And the most interesting part is the last part. You will be able to describe three major tests for stroke. Okay. So please, using your cell phone to scan, I'm going to give you some tests. Do you have any question? Okay. This is the question. You can ask everything. Just look at this question. Is stroke related to cardiovascular or cerebrovascular disease? Okay. A, cardiovascular. You can tell me it's A or B. B is cerebrovascular. A or B. A, vascular, right? Okay. A, one. A. B. Okay. Let's move on. If you scan together to know your answer. So the answer will be cerebrovascular. Okay. Okay, this is the second question. Which one is the main type of stroke? Was there anyone? Yeah. The first one is ischemic stroke. The second one is hemorrhagic stroke. The third one is forced. So what do you think? Forced. Okay, good. Yeah. Well, I'm so surprised. You guys have very good basic knowledge. Yeah, the correct answer is forced. Okay, good. So I know some of you have already known part of the stroke, and we are going to move on today's topic. So we have three main points. Remember, the first one, what is stroke? What do we mean by stroke? Okay, based on this picture, you can see this is the brain tissue. And the different colors means that has a different type of blood vessel to supply blood circulation. And remember, just talk about stroke, shock yesterday, right? And then stroke is very similar, but it's because the brain tissue not get enough blood circulation. That means they don't have enough oxygen to provide. So stroke also causes cerebrovascular accident, and it will cause the long-term disability. Okay, and the problem is because it's fast at developing clinical signs, and these clinical signs indicates the focal is they both will cause the brain tissue damage. It's permanent damage. And we can say this disruption causes like one is ischemia because some blood they move to the brain. So you don't have enough oxygen. We call this ischemia stroke. Other kind is hemorrhage stroke because your blood vessel rupture. Like we say this is the 脑溢血. Okay. So I'm going to move to the second main point. It's about symptoms of after stroke. This PPT is talk about the most common symptom in one is weakness. It's like a complete paralysis or partial weakness. After the sign of brain injury, which means your right brain CVA stroke will cause the left side of your body increase. Okay. And the other is related to speech. If you have left brain damage, they will cause you will have a speech problem. And if you have the right or frontal brain stroke, it will cause that cognitive damage. Okay. This is the most part of the impairment of disability after stroke. So based on this table, the public can know mild and severe sign and the symptom after the stroke. All of this will depend on how severe your brain area involved. Okay. The more part of brain involved, they will cause more severe and the more symptom. Okay. So you can see the mild sign or symptoms like headache. So this is the initial sign. If you have severe headache, you need to be careful. Probably need to find a doctor to evaluate your blood pressure or your brain has some kind of symptom or not. If you have memory loss, okay. Or if you have some muscle control problem, or if you have speech problem like aphasia, disaster, okay. Okay, let's move on. This is the last part about stroke test. We call this systematic hospital stroke scale. If you have any one item abnormal, that means if you have 72%, you might have a stroke. Okay, we call this FAST. Remember FAST. FAST test, arm test, speech test, time test. Okay? Okay. I would like you to, okay, let me smile, and I would like you to, can be observed, you just follow this picture, smile. If you have the initial symptom or so, you will see that one side of the face is weakness. So their face will distort. Okay. This is face smile. Okay. The second test we call arm test, arm elevation test. Please close your eyes and elevate your arm. If you have one side of stroke, okay, you have one might drop or cannot rest up with your arm. Okay, that's one we call speed test. I will ask you to speak one sentence. If you cannot pronounce or you have to start with, that means you might have a stroke. Okay, so then that's your all. I would like to give you examples. What are the three tests of a stroke? Just say. Remember FAST. That's the biggest. FAST. What's FAST? Facial smile. Arm. What's A? Arm test. Arm elevation. Yes, okay. And what's S? Stage. Okay. The time is you need to memorize time and go to hospital as soon as possible. Okay. Let me summarize the main point. What is the stroke? Okay. What is stroke? It's CEM, and it's disruption of brain blood mode. And two types of the stroke is in and out. Okay, and the most common symptom after stroke is say paralysis or hand pressure or weakness. And but it's not hospital stroke fast. Okay. Any question? Okay, that's all for today. I hope you guys can review these three methods after the class. Thank you. This is my demonstration. Any question?
Yeah, 谢谢丽玲老师。So first of all, I think that 丽玲老师provides 学生 with very clear objectives, and then she had very interactive activities through the session, and also at the end she wrapped up the summary of the topic, so which I like pretty much. And since we still have a couple of minutes for the Q&A, and I am wondering if any of you have any. Yes, Professor Lee. Yes.
I would like to ask you, are they your normal students? It seems that there are only few students in the demonstration. Are they your normal students?
That's not normal students. They are also teachers.
The teacher? Yeah. So this is just for demonstration.
Yeah, that's just for teaching demonstration.
And how about your normal students? Will they react the same way as they do?
Usually, this is the first aid and sports care class, and we will involve 60 people to 80 people, so it's a big class room. So I usually put them in a group. They have 4 people in one group, so they will practice like each other with each other. So most of the time is for the lecture and following the demonstration, then the practicum, like this kind of procedure. And by the end of the class, and we will try to ask for some groups come to the class in front of the classroom and try to demonstrate what they learned and share what's their opinion. And I will just give them the feedback how to like correct the wrong posture or position and try to improve their skill.
Thank you.
So it's university second year students most of the time.
Any other questions? Okay, perfect. So we will move on to the second presentation.
Okay, thank you, Professor Zheng, our moderator, and good morning, ladies and gentlemen, our partners, okay, in this session. Let me introduce my lesson plan first. Okay, so first of all, I'm a teacher educator. So when I was teaching in TKU, Zheng University, I was a middle school teacher education program. Okay. And now in NTUE, so my students are all future teachers of elementary school. Okay. My course is titled International Education. Okay, because I believe future teachers need to have international views, and they need to understand international issues. Okay, and they can teach their future students about new knowledge, new mindsets, and to care about our global society. Okay, so this is my lesson plan, and actually I have 40. Okay, I believe I have 35 students, And one thing special is actually I have 7 international students in my class. Okay, so 1 from Japan and 6 from Switzerland. Okay, so they are international students from University of Zurich. Okay, in Switzerland. Okay, so my class have to be an EMI class because international students, they don't really understand Mandarin. So we use mostly English for teaching and interaction. But for most of the Taiwanese students, actually their English proficiency varies. Okay, from kind of a little bit basic to a higher level of even reach after B2. Okay, so in this context, my challenge is to try to make my Taiwanese students understand learn in this course, understand and learn in this course, as well as interact with the international students in my class. Okay, so that is about my students. Okay, and the next one is the learning performance. Okay, so I have 3 goals. One is to demonstrate, okay, and help students learn about terminology, theories, principles in international education. Okay, for example, like in a lot of EMI courses, that is the cognitive, the knowledge part. And the second one, I want them to have a higher order thinking to summarize, explain, classify, or compare, okay, to discuss or critically evaluate those global issues. Okay, for example, we were talking about SDGs, okay, from the United Nations. And the third one is for as a future teacher, I want them to apply those kind of knowledge and the teaching skills. So they will do a demo teaching, okay, for global issues. Okay, that is to simulate their future teaching settings as a teacher in elementary school. Okay, so I don't have a video, so I'll just demonstrate, okay, for you, okay, because I really like real-time interactions. Okay, so let me do this first. Okay. Okay, so welcome to my class. Okay, remember this is like the third time we have in our class. Remember we have a routine. Okay, so at the beginning of the class, the first week, I told you that we are trying to have a habit of getting familiar with international issues. Okay, so each week when you come to the class, I will ask you about what kind of international news do you know recently. Okay, then we'll start that kind of introduction. Okay, so I might ask you this question. Maybe you think about this week, maybe yesterday, maybe this. Okay, so we are on Monday, so maybe last week during the weekend, what happened? Okay, globally. Okay, can you specifically name something in your mind? Okay, for example, what kind of international news you have in your mind? Okay, we are right in such a beautiful world, right? Okay, a beautiful world like this. Okay, so many things are happening in the world. Okay, so remember, we are not alone. So actually, we have a lot of friends, partners, in this world. So can you just name one thing in the world? Name one thing happen in the world. Okay, everyone? Do you want to name one thing just happen in the world? Or maybe I give you a hint, okay? So for example, where is Taiwan? Here, right? Taiwan is right here, okay? I need to turn it this side, okay? Okay, so let's talk about our neighboring countries, okay? So I know so many of you like to go to Japan, right? Okay, so maybe you can talk about something in Japan. Or actually, there's another place we really love to go to.
The Korean president.
Yes, okay, the Korean president. And would you repeat that again, louder for our class?
Korean president's potential impeachment.
Potential impeachment. Okay, wow. You are so professional. Okay, and thank you for your feedback. Okay, so Korean president. Okay, impeachment, right? Okay, have a possible. Okay, I think very possible, right? Impeachment. Okay, so that happens in South Korea. Okay, so where is South Korea? Let's take a look. Okay, if you like the Google Earth, just like me, right here, right? Okay, South Korea, and okay, then what happens? What happens? I know you hear impeachment, right? That will be a little bit difficult for you. But what causes it? Let's get the story from the first, right? From the beginning. Okay, so maybe if you want, okay, then actually you can Google it, okay? But recently I want to show you ChatGPT, okay? You can download ChatGPT and actually you just ask, okay? You just ask, okay? Let me try if it works, okay? What happened recently in South Korea?
I'm not able to. Got it. Let me know if there's anything else you'd like to chat about.
Okay, that's all. Would you explain that?
Sure. What would you like me to explain? Feel free to ask about anything, and I'll do my best to help.
Okay. What happened recently in South Korea?
I'm sorry, but I can't provide this.
Okay, so in the mood. Okay, she is not in the mood today. Okay, so maybe you just use Google, right? If you want to know, okay, if you want to know about the international news, okay, maybe you just Google it. Okay, for example, I Google it for you, and I found this one. Wow, what is this one? Okay, I try to calculate with my body South Korean politician. I'm confronting soldier during martial law. Okay, so actually the president declared martial law first. Okay, the president of South Korea declared the martial law first. Okay, martial law just like that. Okay.
That sounds like a significant event.
Yeah, now you can respond. And what happened? Okay, martial law. What does martial law mean? What does martial law mean? Okay, martial. Have you heard about martial arts? Martial arts. Martial arts is like use all the weapons, all kinds of weapons. But it's an art. Okay, to perform, to do performance. Okay, so martial law is we call use the military, okay, the weapons, the soldiers to control the government. Okay, so that is a very, very special occasion. Okay, so as this video show you, okay, let's just give it to the very impressive, okay, scene over here. Okay, so this politician is talking about. She was standing right in front the Congress and the soldiers. The soldiers, they were like this. Okay, let me jump a little. Okay, so like this. Okay, right like this. Okay, so the politician was holding the gun of the soldiers. Okay, so what happened? Okay, we just talked about martial law, right? Martial law. Okay, and we were talking martial law is about the military controlling the government. Okay, actually replace the government. Okay, so when they come to the government, the politician was so angry. Okay, and there are many of them, so they were so angry. So they are kind of holding the guns. Okay, so was it dangerous? Was it dangerous? Of course. Okay, they might die, right? If the soldiers fire, right? Okay, so that is a very emergency, a very emergent and special occasion in Korea. Okay, and then, okay, let's read it together. And then here, okay, so here, okay, and the declaration of the martial law was actually short-lived, with lawmakers overturning it hours later. Then what happened? So the politicians in the Congress, they went into the Congress and they voted to overturn it. They reject the martial law. So the president of South Korea has had to change his mind again to, we say, he declared martial law again before, then now he lifted, okay? We use the past tense, okay? Now he lifted the martial law right after a few hours. I believe it's like 6 hours, okay? Okay, we can check out that, okay? So it's a very short-lived, okay, situation. Okay? And now the president now he is facing a lot of protests from the people of the South Korea, and maybe he will step down, okay, to quit from the position of the president. Okay, we haven't know that, but we are still, watching that kind of situation. Okay, so that is a very important issue happens in our global society recently. And remember, last time actually we have discussed an international education framework, just like this. So where can you match it when we are talking about South Korea? Where can we match it? So we talk about conflicts, we talk about martial laws. So, and another piece of news, actually the president was making the decision because he believed there will be international security issue right happening in South Korea. So he wanted to declare the status of martial law. Okay? So there's a national security issue here, and there's a conflict situation here. So actually, most of the international issues, okay, over here, we can talk about its concept. Its concept. When you talk about the situation in South Korea, actually we talk about peace and conflict. When we talk about United Nations, actually we talk about cooperation and competition between the global society. And if we talk about other things, okay, we have human rights, we have hunger, poverty. Actually, we talk about justice and human rights. And if we talk about you are familiar with sustainability, right? Sustainable SDG. Actually, we talk about one thing, okay, about the SDG is environment and sustainability. Okay, so we can match all these international issues we are concerned about to analyze the concept behind the global issues. Then we will decide which kind of concept we can teach our students. Okay, so from next time when we are discussing about one global issue or international news, okay, global events. Okay, please refer back to this framework and to think about, we are not only teaching about the event, we actually have to teach the concept behind it. Okay? So do you get it? Okay? Okay, so much time do I have? Okay, 3 minutes. Okay, good. Okay, so let's start. Okay, so today we will have a new concept to introduce to you, which are the SDG pillar. Okay, so once you decide the concept behind the global issues, actually United Nations they proposed 17 global sustainable development goals to help us to think about those issues and where we can do something and how we can do something about it. Where and how do we do something about it? Okay. So in this class, we will explore more and to help you think about your introduction of your own issues. And remember, in the end of this course, okay. So the final week, we are going to do teaching demonstration. So you are going to transform those global issues into teaching activities. And remember, our students are elementary school students. So you are not only lecturing those content, you have to transform that and design very friendly, understandable activities for our elementary students to learn with us. Okay? If you have any questions, so welcome to discuss with me. Okay? That's all. Thank you.
Actually, Zheng is my mentor of teaching practice research.
I always jump over it.
And I do like the fact that Zheng gave us a very clear lesson plan at the beginning so that we know the dynamics of the classroom and full of different students from different nations. And that is a big challenge. And that's why Zheng adopted a variety of pedagogies to deliver content knowledge. Okay, so anyone has a question? Oh, yes, Professor Lee.
Thank you for the demonstration. I think that is a wonderful one. I enjoyed it very much.
Thank you very much.
Just my curiosity, I heard that you are doing this certification just because you would like to get a certificate, but you are already teach the teachers. Why do you need this certificate?
I'm not coming for the certificate.
So what's the purpose?
I'm just interested, just like Zheng Zhilin. I'm just very interested about the theory and the practice of EMI. And this is the first time in Taiwan we have a systematic teacher training program. We have videos about EMI theories, practice, and the teaching demonstration. So you are right, I am already doing EMI teaching, but I need and I am interested in those background theories and the concept of EMI. So I came here to understand that. Thank you.
You are personally experienced, but you are going to teach your students.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. I will share more during the round table of my class if you are interested. Welcome. Okay. Thank you.
So actually, Professor Lee means you are overqualified.
Thank you so much.
Okay, so we will have our third presenter, Wendy Zheng.
Good morning, professors. It's really my honor for being here today. I'm super excited to share with you how I conduct some EMI classes at NYCU. Actually, I transformed some other departments, but most of them are training based. Okay, first of all, I taught some classes at Language Teaching Center, LTRC, Language Research and Teaching Center, but now I transferred to the Advanced Higher Education Department. But anyway, we conduct some classes, not like purely English, but some applications like what I'm going to share with you, critical thinking, and some other related classes. And of course, those are not purely English, but well, I mean not like purely grammar, listening, but the application of English language. So of course, we have to do that in English anyway. So average, there are around maybe 20-25 students, and most of them are freshmen and sophomores. All right. So here, yes. My name is Zheng. Yes, you can just call me Wendy. All right. So I'm going to do a live demonstration as well, and usually I set up the intended learning outcome first. So after today's lesson, you professors will be able to, first of all, identify the key element of critical thinking. Of course, there are so many elements, but we are going to focus just one, okay? And then describe the common logical fallacy. Of course, once again, there are so many fallacies, but we are going to focus on one, faulty generalization. And then, as you know, E and I focus more on the interaction and students brainstorming and anything. So that's why towards the end of the class, we are going to analyze the case and critique the logical fallacy that we just taught. Okay, right. So let me just go right ahead and share with you a video. I usually start the class with some discussions or videos, and then afterwards I will just play these lyrics. That's, you know, that's Saturday morning, so let's just take it easy. That's a pretty funny, hilarious video. But before watching that, I want my students to think about two questions. The first one is, well, there are three characters in the video, the time traveler and the husband and the wife. So I want you to pay special attention to their reactions, okay? What does the time traveler say? Okay, does something that the time traveler will mention sound very familiar to you, okay? You'll probably hear some similar words or things in your everyday life like that. And the second, the husband and the wife will just react to the comments from time traveler. So I want you to think what was the husband's and also wife's reaction to the time traveler's comments, all right? So let's just go right ahead and, oops, okay, let me just, yes, right, oops, yes, yes, I know what you are saying, let's control, okay, yes.
Why not? The eggs. They're full of cholesterol.
What?
Cholesterol. It clogs up your arteries. Eating even just one egg can dramatically increase your chance of heart attack. Don't eat eggs.
Oh my God. Thank you.
You're welcome. Godspeed.
Well, I guess I better take those eggs.
Wait! Stop!
You're out.
Yeah. You're wrong about the eggs. Turns out there's two types of cholesterol. There's good cholesterol and bad cholesterol, and eggs actually have both. So you can eat eggs, but just don't eat the egg yolks. So stick with the egg egg whites.
Yes, thank you.
Godspeed. We were wrong about the eggs. Yeah. Yeah, okay, so it turns out that the amount of cholesterol in a food doesn't actually affect how much cholesterol ends up in your blood. The eggs are probably fine. In fact, you sort of don't even know what cholesterol is. But the steak! You can't eat the steak!
Why not?
Turns out that red meat increases your chance of heart attack. You have to cut out red meat. So no steak!
Thank you.
Godspeed.
No steak, mister.
What? We were wrong about the steak. It's the toast. Man was not meant to eat bread.
What do you mean man is not meant to eat bread?
Well, if you think about it, human beings should really only be eating what our Paleolithic ancestors ate. So, therefore, no bread, no toast.
How do you know what our Paleolithic ancestors ate?
Well, we just have to guess, right? I mean, we don't have any way of knowing. Okay, we're back to the Paleolithic. They are not doing well. I don't know what we were thinking. If anything, we should all be eating a lot more bread. Jeez. So I guess just ignore everything I've said and exercise.
Exercise, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, you guys can probably use it. You've been just sitting here for the last 35 years.
It's been 5 minutes.
Right. Time now. All right, well, Godspeed. Turns out it's genetic. Doesn't matter whether you exercise or what you eat. I'm sorry I ruined your game.
On your time, Ralph.
Do you want some eggs?
I love some.
Right. So just like I mentioned, it's actually pretty hilarious, right? So if Li老师, yes, you try to use this video in your cholesterol class, that is actually very relevant to everyday life. All right. So afterwards, so for example, we show videos to our students, but we don't want them to just watch, right? They have to think about something or pay special attention to some details. So afterwards, I usually ask them some questions like here. So does what the time traveler said sound familiar to you in your everyday life? Yes, right? So sometimes, especially our parents, send us some information like through line. Don't do this or don't do that. But after maybe 1 or 2 weeks or a month, some other doctor said, actually that's okay. Like that, right? But in the real class, students will just do the discussion and share what they have encountered in their everyday life. And I want them to relate their experience to the case here. So the second question is, what was the husband's reaction? Also, wife's reaction to the time traveler's comments, right? So what is the difference between their actions? So they will just throw out all different ideas. But here, the wife usually just directly believes, right, what the time traveler said. Don't eat eggs, okay? Let me just throw out the eggs. But the husband, what did he do? He actually asked some questions, right? Okay? How do you know what our ancestors ate? Like that. Why not? Why do you say that? Okay? So here, that is very relevant to our the key element of critical thinking. The first element is asking right questions, right? So according to Rene Descartes, he said, I think therefore I am. So he emphasized the importance of being doubtful, right? Doubt is the origin of wisdom. So if you will be a real seeker after truth, it's necessary that at least once in our lives you doubt as far as possible, okay? So that means asking right questions, being able to ask meaningful questions is the key element of being a critical thinker. Do you agree? Yes? All right. So instead of just believing in everything directly, that's the first moment, we doubt first. Okay. So, of course, after they understand the concept, okay, we need to be doubtful. But what to be doubtful about? There are so many fallacies in our everyday lives. 谬论. So I'm going to focus on one first for today. The first one is faulty generalization. So instead of just giving definitions and explanation and everything, I use examples. So for example here, consider the following examples. So the first one, Jack from the US is always very direct. That makes me think that all Americans are all direct as well. Right? So usually they will be divided into different groups and talk about their thoughts. But for now, yes, Professor, can you just share with us what you think about the fallacies in this sentence? Yes.
The first one?
Yes. The one about Jack.
I think that the statement is feasible for some cases, but not all.
Exactly, okay? So, what they usually do is to link the statement with the idea that we just mentioned, asking questions. So they will be like, Jack, can Jack, a single person, represent all Americans? Probably not, like that, okay? Right. And then Mary was cheated by her ex-boyfriend, so she thinks other men must be untrustworthy. It's not reasonable to assume that one single person, ex-boyfriend, can represent all the men in the world. There are some other possibilities like that. So they usually make complete sentences, right? And last but not least, oh no, I failed my math test. I've ruined my whole life. That's a very common statement in students' life. But eventually, they know that they need to be doubtful first. Okay, is that true? Single math test, can a single math test represent the success of the whole life, like that? So they start to kind of integrate what they have learned in those situations. Right. So that's for the discussion. And then afterwards, I will just provide a case analysis, and I have the handout. Sorry, so can you just pass the handout for me, please? Yes. So what I usually do is to, yes, okay, of course, to kind of you use the projected points, right? Yes, of course. But they also have a handout on hand so that they know where to write down their ideas. Or sometimes I use a Padlet so that they can just Google document. So they can just 共编 like that, okay? So here, 2 years ago, the nearby, I want them to analyze the case and try to ask some questions, identify the fallacies that they have learned. So 2 years ago, the nearby town of Ocean View built a new municipal golf course and resort hotel. During the past 2 years, tourism in Ocean View has increased. New businesses have opened there, and Ocean View's tax revenue have risen by 30%. Therefore, the best way to improve Mountain View's economy and generate additional tax revenues is to build a golf course as well and resort hotels similar to those in ocean view, right? Sounds like it's reasonable, that makes sense, but if they just analyze carefully, there are so many fallacies inside, right? Yes. And because they are just freshmen or sophomore students, I usually provide language banks, like some phrases that they can use, or the sentences that they can go ahead and use to make complete sentences, like that. So after the introduction of all those preparations, they can just go ahead and talk about the case, right? So yes, Professor, can you just provide us with an example? Just mention one fallacy that you can identify from this case.
This case, right?
Yes. Right? So try to think about overgeneralization. Sometimes we just generalize everything based on one single event and then generalize everything in all other events, right? So what would you say? Yes.
Maybe it only concerned about revenue revenues, more economic way.
Yes.
To earn money. Okay, but for the tourism, we need to protect other, for example, our environments.
Okay.
Instead of only earning money and attracting a lot of people, which may, maybe influence these environments.
Yes. Wow. Big head.
SDGs.
Yes, exactly. Wow. No wonder. You are a professor, so you actually think very deeply. But sometimes students just mention some, basic fundamental ideas. That's enough. Yes. So for example, one argument that students can mention is that, what happened in Ocean View will not guarantee the same success in another city, Mountain View, like that. Okay, right. As long as they can just make some simple sentences, they are fully satisfied. Yes. So afterwards, we will just talk about the fallacies together, right? Compare my notes with the arguments that they have made from the shared document. Yes, shared document. So yes, I want to invite Professor. Can you just read the first two statements for us, please? Yes.
This one. The argument assumes the increase in tourism and the textile beauty ocean views is solely due to the golf course and resort hotel.
Yes, please.
Can you say the first one?
However, yes.
However, this is faulty generalization because it overlooks the possibility that other factors might also have contributed to this growth.
Yes, thank you. Right. So that is what I usually do in the class. Because EMI emphasizes the importance of student engagement. So instead of reading aloud by myself, I usually ask them to do the work, yes, and just finish all the statements that they have learned so that they can compare with their notes, just like that, okay? Right. So I guess that's it for today, yes. Thank you.
Okay, once again, any questions for everybody?
Yes, right.
Thank you so much for your teaching demonstration.
Sure.
I'm just wondering, because this topic is actually not so easy to teach, critical thinking.
Right.
As a teacher, as a professor, instructor, you have to be critical as well.
Exactly.
Okay? And we actually need to encourage an open-minded atmosphere for our students.
Right.
So what if, students, I'm thinking maybe two situations. One is students, they don't really have any opinion about it during that time. Then how would you inspire them? And the second one is, what if they have very diverse, all kinds of thinking? Okay, so on the other hand, right? So all kinds of creative thinking. Then how would you do to summarize that or in your way? Okay, thank you.
Right. That's a wonderful question. That's a wonderful question. Actually, well, those 25 students who are in this class are actually very aggressive already. Otherwise, they will just take some other easy classes and don't want to participate in the discussions. So actually, before the class, I record like 3 minutes course introduction video so that they know in this class what they have to do is participate in discussion. If they do not expect to do that, they won't choose the course anyway. Alright? So some preparation should be done beforehand. And second, yes, of course, there is no right or wrong answer toward these kind of topics. So it's actually okay. It's actually okay to kind of make their answers diverse. That is actually welcome. But eventually, just like I mentioned, I will just direct their thoughts into just some narrow scopes, right? Let's just focus on, yes, of course, there are maybe a number of points, but let's just focus on these 3 aspects first. Right. But afterwards, if they have more ideas, of course, they can share their ideas on the Padlet, the Google document. That is also okay too. But in this class, with limited time and discussion, we can just focus on talking about these 3 or 4. Yes. All right. All right. Thank you. Yes.
Also, as a moderator, I am required to make a couple of comments. So first of all, I think we have another overqualified presenter today. And I like the PPT slides of when it's designed. That's really professional. And also video, and we also have some follow-up thinking questions. Which is amazing. So maybe I can conclude that since we all here you guys are so professional at EMI, so everyone in Taiwan can conduct an EMI, right?
Yes, of course.
That's the quality generalization. Thank you.
I know. That is overgeneralization, but I truly believe so. I would like to believe so. Yes.
Okay, so let's move on. Let's save best for the last, right? We will have Wang Yuhui 老师.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Wang Yuhui, and I'm from assistant professor in the Department of Agribusiness Management in National University of Science and Technology. And it's my pleasure to have this opportunity to share one of my courses here. And actually, I learned a lot from all professor presentation today. So. Because this is my first time to apply an EMI class in my course. So any feedback or any comments or suggestions, I really appreciate for that. Yeah, thank you. Okay, to begin, I would like to provide a brief overview of my lesson plan tablet. The course is called the Agricultural Trade Practice. And actually, this course is not filled with the highly academic knowledge, and it is more like a practical class. I will teach the student how to apply the rules, the international trade rule, in their future life. And I hope that they will be more familiar with this kind of rules and be useful in the future. And like my student, I didn't write down here. Look my materials that can know. My students usually not have a high English level, so they would scared to speak English. So my materials will use part of Mandarin and part of English. And my teaching style, I will have, like here, the assignment. In this whole semester course, I have 10 assignments for my learners. Because I hope they scared to speak English, but it's okay to read and write in English. So I hope they can, during doing the assignment and practice how to improve the application of the international trade rules. Okay. And sometimes I will have record some video, and also in each class, each meeting, I will design a Kahoot game. It's a game, and just ask about maybe 3 or 5 very simple questions, and the student will engage in the class and answer the questions. But forgive me, today I didn't bring my Kahoot game here because I thought I would just only have 10 minutes. Yeah. So, yeah, that's all of my briefly introduction of this course. And so today I'm going to present right now. Yes, just a 10 minutes, a very simple introduction of my class. So today, we are exploring the fascinating world of the agricultural trade and eco-terms. Okay. First of all, let me ask you a question. How does the agricultural trade really work? Is anyone have the idea? Okay, image you are planning import. You are importer and you want to import a Japanese sake or a fresh meat to Taiwan. Or maybe one day you want to exporting Taiwanese product to Japan, like the pineapple or the butterfly market. So in this time, maybe you will have a lot of concern, like what? Like how should I transport this product, right? Or maybe I can use the cargo ship or use the cargo aircraft. The cargo ship is slower but cheap, and the cargo aircraft is expensive, but it can be more insured about the quality of our products. Yeah. Another concern might be is the cargo ship is equipped with the refrigerator carrier. Is it have any refrigerations? Or what kind of international trade term I should sign? Like should I sign FOB or CF? I will mention later. And is there any tariff barriers or non-tariff barrier I should consider? So many things you need to consider during if you want to do agricultural trade. Further, so before we move forward, okay, I want to remind you there's a lot of ways to define the different types of trade. We can define the type of trade based on the movement goods or the exchangeable mode. Or we can depend on the type of trade depend on the distinct characteristic and the process of trade. So many. But most commonly, we use the type of goods to divide the trade into two types. The first one is the service trade, and the other one is the merchandise trade. And agricultural trade is belong to merchandise trade. In our world, we will trade the real thing, not service. And there are at least five characteristics of the agricultural trade. Like the agricultural trade will have a seasonal variation, price volatility, and lots of characteristics about agricultural trade. And we can see agricultural trade is characterized by high complexity and cost intensity. So that's why I want to introduce about Incoterms. Incoterms is an international rule, and you can make you understanding how to control the cost and risk during a trade. So, as I mentioned, international trade term is a common rule to helping both the buyer and the seller can on the same page. And when it comes to their obligations regarding to shipping the goods to their final destination, Incoterms can cover exactly who will bear each process cost and risk. So that's why Incoterms is important. For me to briefly introduce some Incoterms. There are several Incoterms, but we will focus on the one of the major and the most commonly used. I will focus on CFR, CIF, and FOB. Okay, and this FOB, CFR, and CIF is only for sea shipping only. Okay, yeah, just for sea shipping only. This is a very simple figure to explain the FOB and CFR and CIF. FOB stands for the free on board. So, and it basically means that the risk is transferred to the buyer when the goods are loaded on board and the vessel and its loading part. So this means the supervisor supports all the risk and costs of the trunking of the goods to the loading part and cleaning the custom and all the local part charge associated with the loading the goods on the vessel. So we can say that the FOB is just the buyer take the risk and cost until here, and the other risk and costs were taken by the buyer. So the CFR and CIF is just one more step than FOB. Okay? And what's the difference with CFR and CIF? The CIF will apply one more consideration is about insurance. Okay. So the buyer, the seller also have to buy the insurance for the goods. Okay, this is very simple explanation of the FOB, CFR, and CIF. So about this objective of this course, I want to delivery the terms will affect either product cost or the shipping cost. So when negotiating either with customer or supplier, it's important to know what delivery terms to choose. So that's why I want to introduce this course, introduce Incoterms to the learners. And this course wants to provide a very straightforward and comprehensive introduction to the fundamental concepts of international agricultural trade. So especially the trade process and the creation of a trade document and practical consideration that should be considered. So that's why this course I have designed so many assignments for the learners. I ask them to pretend they are importer or the exporter and just do the detailed international trade process by themselves. Okay, that's all. Thank you so much. Thank you for your attention. And
Okay, so first of all, I love the passion that Yu Hui demonstrated through her presentation, and also I noticed Yu Hui keeps smiling all the way through, and it helps provide a very friendly learning environment for the students. Alright, so any questions for Yu Hui? Okay, yeah, that's great. And my suggestion is that maybe I do believe that you would use some videos to illustrate some advanced content knowledge. Okay, good. That's what I would suggest. Okay, thank you. Okay. Actually, we still have like 40 minutes. We don't have to keep that long, and just be flexible. And we do have some additional announcements from Assistant One.
就是刚刚那个摄影大哥有说，就是钟丽老师的部分有一些地方没有拍摄到，所以就是我等一下会请摄影大哥来，然后想要麻烦大家就是让老师再上去就是演示一下这样。
OK， 应该不用整个10分钟嘛，就是大概是照几张照片呈现一下。OK， 那就再麻烦丽丽老师了。
You can scan the QR code and play with your phone. So it will refresh their mind. Yeah, they are going to feel the idea. I want to play a tattoo game, and I say you win the tattoo game, you will win the bonus point. Yes, for the whole semester, and they will engage again to join. Yeah.
答问完答就答不到嘛，对不对？
Any more questions? Okay, so if not, it's time for a group. So good afternoon, fellow participants. Welcome to the RC and my Professional Development Symposium. This afternoon, this session will be moderated by two professors. And the first one will be Professor Lin Yueyun from the International Business Administration Program at Zheng大学. And I myself is the second moderator from Department of Transportation Management at Danjiang大学. So welcome everyone, and this session we will accommodate four presentations, and each presentation has like 15 to 20 minutes, and you do have some flexibility if you need more time, no worries. And just for your reminder that everyone who participated in the program need to fill out 2 observation records to complete two pieces of EMI observation records like this. Alright. So if you need a blank form of this, you can ask the form from the assistant. Okay. 写完2份观课的内容。 Alright, and this session we have 4 presenters. The first one will be Professor Zheng from 高雄科技大学. Would you raise your hand? Wave your hand. And then the second one will be Professor Zheng from長庚科大. And the third one will be Liu Kai from 東南科大. And the fourth will be Professor Zheng Qijin from 台北市立大学. Okay, let's start our first presentation.
So, thank you, Professor Zheng and Professor Zheng. I'm sorry, I have a bad memory, so. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Zheng from National Kaohsiung University of Science and Technology, and it is my honor to have this opportunity to share and present my course in EMI to all you guys, and looking forward to have your suggestion and sharing between each other. Thank you so much. And before I start the slide, I would like to take 1 minute to talk about some need analysis of my student. And I'm the professor of Department of Human Resources Development. So my students are all human resource development. Although I have to teach them about social psychology, in this case I have to try to make them apply the knowledge of social psychology into the field of human resources management. So at the end of my slide, I will provide an activity discussion for students to apply the knowledge of social psychology into the context or the field of human resources management. Okay, that's the first part. And mostly my students, there are around 50 students in my classroom. So I have to divide them into groups in order to make them discuss with each other, because usually they don't want to talk to me, but they prefer to talk to their friends or group mates. So I think the discussion in group will make them more engaged in the activities and to learn more, to learn much deeper about social psychology. Okay, and the third part is their English proficiency is consistently low. So sometimes I have to use some Chinese terms for them to better understand the knowledge of social psychology. And also, I would like to encourage them to speak in English in the classroom as much as I can. I usually told them that I want to be the only person speaking English in his classroom. And I eat your response for a living, so please do not let me be the only person in the classroom. That is what I usually told to the students in my course. So after the need analysis, I think it is time for me to move on to my presentation. Today, I'm going to talk about a topic that is really classic and typical in social psychology, which is cognitive dishonest, 认知失调. Okay, so what is cognitive dishonest? Let's begin with a story or a situation. What will happen when you spend a lot of time to buy a ticket, but it turns out the concert is a total disaster? Like recently we have the concert held by Zheng, right? If you spend a lot of time and money buy the tickets, and you enter the concert, and only to find out that, wow, the concert is awful, it's a disaster, what is your reaction? Does anyone want to share your feelings about this situation? Anyone? Yeah, sure.
I think it's because the field is too bad.
The field is too bad. Okay.
It's not good for this best concert ever.
Okay, so the Taipei Dome is not good enough. Okay, thank you. That would be a reason. Well, you may think that, okay, it is about the field, right? The concert field is not good enough. Or you may think, okay, I have a bad luck. right? I develop, and maybe you will like to post your videos on Instagram or Facebook to share the ideas that, oh, this concert is really awful, right? One of my students told me that he is happy to share his ideas because he cannot be the only one to attend the concert. Yeah, he wants to share the pain to the others. So, well, that is your feelings, that is a choice. But maybe you will try to persuade yourself that, well, the concert is not that bad, right? You will try to persuade yourself and try to change your own attitude to justify your action to buying the tickets, right? And that is the core content of cognitive dissonance theory, okay? So first, let's have an overview about changing attitude in psychology. Usually, we define the way of changing attitude in psychology into two kinds. The first kind is changed by others. That means attitudes are changed by others' behavior or messages in social context. So for example, if you learn from a role model, according to social learning theory, you will change your behavior and your attitude. Or someone provides some communication to tell you that, oh, what you used to think is wrong. This is the right way to think about this issue. That is communication. These are two ways that represent the way changed by others. On the other hand, we have another kind, changed by oneself. That means attitudes are changed by one's own behaviors or self-related perception. And today's main character, cognitive dissonance theory, is in the second category of this categorization. Okay? So, what is the main principle or content of cognitive dissonance theory? It is proposed by Professor Leon Festinger, a cute, stylish old professor, in my opinion. And the content is that motivation of maintaining cognitive consistency is the main core components of cognitive dissonance theory. What is that? Generally, people have desire for maintaining cognitive consistency, and in some circumstances, people may experience inconsistency that evokes unpleasant feelings. So if your action and your attitude conflicts with each other, it will cause you unpleasant feelings. You will be so confused and you will be anxious. Why they are conflicts with each other? So when people have done something contradicts to their attitude, people may change their attitude to remove cognitive inconsistency. They will change their attitude in order to eliminate the pain of dishonest, cognitive dishonest. So, here's a question for you guys. Why don't we change the behaviors to remove or to eliminate the dishonest? Why do we have to change attitude instead of behaviors? Why? Does anyone have an answer about this or any ideas? I'm sure. Thank you so much.
Because change attitude is more easy.
Yeah, change attitude is more easy, right? Sometimes you have already done the behavior. So unless you have a time machine, you can go time travel back to the past and persuade yourself not to do it. Unless you have a time machine, the only thing you can do is that you can only change your attitudes. You cannot change your behavior because it is already done. Okay? So here's a classic version of cognitive dissonance theory. Think about this situation. This is a classical experiment. You're a participant. You enter a room like this, and the researcher told you that you have to put the plastic bricks into the hole for about 40 times, right? So how do you feel about this task? You might feel it is goddamn boring, right? You have to do it 40 times. It is really, really boring. And after you finish the task, the researcher asks you to do another favor. Would you talk to another person about this experiment? And here is the decision point. 从这边开始，这个分水岭 is a division point. The first scenario, you can tell exactly how you feel. You don't have to lie. So you go to talk to another person and tell him, this experience is goddamn boring. If you have a chance, just escape from it. Okay, that is the first scenario. The second scenario, you have to tell a lie. You have to lie to another participant. Tell him that this experiment is so interesting and exciting. You have to join this experiment. And the researcher will pay you $20 to do that. That's a bunch of money, right? And in the third scenario, you also have to tell a lie. But in this scenario, you only get $1. So here's the difference. If you don't have to tell a lie, after you talk to the participant, you still think the experiment is boring. If you tell a lie and got $20, still you think the experiment is boring. However, if you tell a lie and you only get paid by $1, you will change your attitude. You will think that you really enjoy this experiment. You think it is interesting. So what makes the difference? The key point is whether you have sufficient justification or not. If you have sufficient justification, you have a good reason to justify your action. So you may tell yourself, okay, I'm telling a lie because I got paid $20. However, if you have insufficient justification, that means you have no reason to justify your own actions. Like you only got $1 and you have to lie, so you don't have to. So you have to change your attitude to make yourself believe that this experiment is goddamn interesting, right? So once you have no reason to justify your actions that contradict to your attitude, you may have to change your attitude to restore cognitive consistency. As a result, attitude is changed, and without external influence. It is all by yourself. No one forced you to do that. So that is the typical version of cognitive dissonance theory. So let's go back to the example at the very beginning. What about concert? It's derived from cognitive dissonance theory. It is, simply put, it is coming to light what you suffer for. So, if we have paid lots of effort or time to get something, we are motivated to have more positive attitudes towards the thing we got, because you already paid the effort, spend the effort, the time, the money. So imagine you spend so much time to get into a concert. You have to tell yourself the concert is worthy and amazing, even though it is actually not, right? Because you want to remove or eliminate your dishonest, your cognitive dishonest. So the suffering you went through, whether in money, time, or effort, is something you have to justify, okay? If you don't justify it, it will cause you a lot of pain, okay? So here's the activities for students to discuss. But since we don't have that much time, I will just go through the procedure of this activity. And the main core value of this activity is to make sure that students have the opportunity to apply what they know about like cognitive dissonance theory to the context of human resource management. So, training beyond skills and knowledge. In real estate companies, salesmen plays an important role in raising companies' performance. In this way, companies not only want to recruit excellent salesmen, but also have to enhance their commitment to their company. And the key to enhance commitment is to make salesmen have positive attitude toward companies. So you have to change their attitude from neutral or negative to positive. That is the main goal of this activity. And imagine you are the HR specialist responsible for this. And please use cognitive dissonance theory. What kind of contents will you provide, or what kind of activity, training activity, will you provide during the training program to enhance their commitment? Remember, here's a hint. The key point is to provide insufficient justification for their own actions. That is what you need to do, okay? So after students discuss like for 10 or 15 minutes in group, I will ask them to whether there's volunteer to share his or her ideas in front of others. And if they don't, I would like to just randomly pick someone to ask them to come to the front to share their ideas. And one of the students, they say they will use the principle of doing is believing. And for example, he said, we can provide a training activity for senior salesmen to write the upside of being a sales to a newcomer, making senior salesmen justify their actions of writing by changing attitude, okay? So in this case, if a salesman feels unsatisfied about a company, we may provide a chance for them to change their attitude through cognitive dishonest theory. And in addition, they say, in order to make the salesman a little bit more suffer a little bit, they have to present their writing in the public. So that is that is the content of this activity. And that is my presentation. Thank you for listening and looking forward to your question and sharing. Thank you.
I would like to make a little bit of comments. And first, I noticed that when speaking in English, Professor Zhang shows high confidence, so which is good.
I'm not so sure.
Yeah, and I also noticed some visual aids and body language and real life examples, so which is good. And any questions from all the participants or any comments from Professor Lee?
Question first.
Okay, question first. Or maybe I would like to know that since you have designed a group discussion activity, do you find language barrier between students, and how can they overcome that?
Well, the truth is they don't want to speak English. That is pretty normal in my course. So I asked them to, I would say step by step. If you cannot present your ideas in English, maybe you can first tell me your ideas in Chinese, and we can talk about how to take a step forward. Like, even though you can only use simple sentence in English, that is encouraged. I will encourage them to speak as much English as possible. Although most of the time they are like 50-50, 50% of Chinese and 50% of English. But it seems to me that is a significant progress. Yeah, from the very beginning they prefer not to speak English. And at the end of or in the middle of the semester, they were there to speak maybe 3 to 5 sentences in English in front of others. I think that is a big progress. So what I do is that when they are discussing group, I walk around them and ask them, so what is your ideas? And from the very beginning, they are a little bit nervous. And I told them, well, just speak in Chinese. And I can tell you what is the correct English sentence that have the same meaning or can express your own ideas. That is what I do. So I don't know whether it is correct, but that is my idea. Thank you.
I'll share my feelings here. I think this is a wonderful demonstration because the flow is very smooth. Okay? And it's natural, it's quite natural, like in the classroom. I like your style because you raise the attention immediately with the pictures. Actually, cognitive dissonance theory is hard to explain, but you use a very good example, including some theory. There are theories, and especially I noticed that when you explain a little bit of academic contents, you slow down a little bit. You slow down a little bit for the student to understand more, which is very good because academic content is a little bit hard to comprehend. So this is a very good, although it's a small thing, but I noticed that you are very careful teacher. Try to encourage the student to participate, to join the conversation. So I think this is a wonderful demonstration. Okay.
Okay, that's why I go first, because I'll try to do now, Professor. Okay, then we will have the second presenter, 赵国玉老师。
My course is nursing care for children with psychosocial disorder, and my topic is about nursing care for children with Tourette syndrome. This is a 2 credit class, and for a junior grade student, and they learn how to care children with psychosocial disorder. And is someone have ever heard Tourette syndrome? Could raise your hand. Okay, just 2. Okay, and Tourette syndrome is a childhood onset neuropsychiatric disorder with a motor tic and vocal tic. Let me show you what is a motor tic.
Tourette's can be hilarious, but
you could see the facial difference, and it is suddenly happen.
you can hurt yourself, like badly. It can stop you from walking. You know, I still have my entire body weight on.
It's motor tic disorder. And let me show you the other video that is motor tics and vocal tics come together. Okay, you could see that with motor and vocal tics. And tic disorder is sudden. You could see it's really rapid, and the patient, when they wake up, maybe this tic disorder will follow him or her until they sleep, then stop. When they sleep, they don't have any tic disorder. And most of the time, it happened at around 7 years old. Therefore, most of the parents think that children may did some bad behavior, that they have this movement or those kind of sound. But this is not bad behavior. That is cortical have some the pathway have some problem with them. Most of the children with Tourette syndrome, they may have half of them have ADHD or OCD, something like that. Therefore, it's not really simple symptom. Or I could say that everyone they have different symptoms for each patient. It means we couldn't see exactly the same tic disorder in different 2 people. Everyone's tic disorder is really unique. Yeah, and if the tic disorder continue for more than 6 months, then the doctor may diagnose Tourette syndrome. We found that children with Tourette syndrome, the prevalence of Tourette syndrome may around 2 to 5%. However, it's really serious that made one person for 10,000 people, like with vocal and motor tic, and really severe, and not only the face but also his whole body like that. But it's not very popular. However, it's really minor, just eye blinking, something like that. It's almost 5% of children may have that. And they are more in boys than girls, almost 7-to-1 rate. And children with Tourette syndrome may face a lot of daily social and challenge, or they may cause a lot of stress because of tic disorder. Therefore, today we want to discuss their stress, what will happen if they have tic disorder. And now we will have group discussion. I hope we could 3 people in one group and make a small discussion for 3 minutes. After that, I will pick one of you in the group and share what will happen, or what will they feel, what is the stress for them. And you students could, from my assignment reading or their internship experience, try to think about what stress they will have when children or adolescents they face, or every day when they live with Tourette syndrome. How about these 3? You 3 could one group and you 3 for 3 minutes. Thank you. Yeah, and I will have the answer, the correct answer. Therefore, thank you. Deal with Tourette syndrome. Also, you could base on the children development. Yeah. And
Another stress, social context, making friends, and we can now chat with their friends who you like sometimes okay, so making friends. Yeah. We'll deal with water Tourette syndrome. I think many are troubles, right? Like say stress from authority, right? The teachers will see he or she is having trouble in the classroom and try to say that exclude them from the classroom. Is that correct? I'm not sure if I catch your ideas. They do not want to spend time to take care of this kind of students. They just want to come to the classroom and 2 hours later, just ignore them. So it's like
okay. You are so excellent that some of the situation. Yeah.
I mean, it's possible to get this disease from your parents. It's inheritable.
Oh yeah. A lot of genes that we found in the article. However, the doctor think that maybe the father. Yeah. Have the here. Yeah, 遗传 father. Yeah. And I found on your discussion, I found a lot of situation that you said that my patient or that they describe the same. Therefore, yeah, really wonderful. And I will pick one of you in each one person in each group to share your discussion for us.
Sure. So I'm the first one? Okay.
Yeah.
The first situation is that we talk about the stress in when they have to finish the test, like homework or some other task, I don't know, because they cannot concentrate. Yeah, they cannot concentrate on the task. Most of the time they will be distracted by their how to say that? The syndrome. The syndrome. They were distracted by their own syndrome. And the second situation is about social context, stress in social context, because they may have difficulty in making friends with others because other students may giggle at him or because of their syndrome. That is another stress. And the third one is the stress from authority, especially the teachers. Because sometimes the teacher may have misunderstandings about his children and they don't want to spend time taking care of them. They just want to finish their classroom and after 2 hours leave the classroom without any troubles. And sometimes they may think this kind of children is big troubles in the classroom because they will scream loudly in the classroom or something. So that is the example of the stress from the authority, especially the teachers. That is our discussion.
Wow, really excellent. And a lot of it is described by children. I will show you later. Yeah, and let me explain, especially the test when children with Tourette syndrome and they have more severe motor or vocal tic, that they could arrange the spatial classroom for them to have tests that will not interpret other students in the classroom. Yes. And how about
Yeah, we think that first stress that we face is just within the family. That maybe feel the pressure from, or they think the parents may want them to be normal, but they cannot achieve that goal compared to other normal siblings. First in family, and second in the school, that they may face discrimination from their classmates, or they may feel that they are underachieved, cannot achieve the teacher's expectation. And also, as a whole, that when they try to get into a society and make friends, they will feel like a social stress.
Really excellent. Thank you. And especially for family, I still remember one of my patients. He told me that his father is a professor. However, one time when they eat dinner together, and he just had very severe tic and shake the table and yell, something like that. And his father just stand up and go into the room and told he and his mom that you just finished the supper, I will eat later. Even the father didn't say any punish word, but however it hurt children a lot. Yeah, it's really wonderful. And now I will show you their stress. I interview a lot of children with Tourette syndrome, and from what they told me, I separate to 4 categories. And it's really amazing that all of you almost have described all of them. The first is symptom control stress. Sometimes children may think that they hope their Tourette syndrome could disappear, or they think they couldn't get any benefit from Tourette syndrome, something like that. And they also have some future concern stress, like they worry about what their future, how could they find a job, or their academic future, something like that. And the most important is unfairly treated stress that both of the group have mentioned this part, and also the psychological stress, like the whole family's atmosphere no longer seems normal because of their Tourette syndrome. And also, they think they may influence other people in the family, something like that. Therefore, I really appreciate that all of you not only reading the assignment paper, but also use your internship experience and could understand what they will happen, what they will feel, and also their stress when they deal with life. And after today's literature that everyone knows, the children with the stressful children with Tourette syndrome, and next class we will start to talk about the coping strategy. How could we help those children when they deal with Tourette syndrome? Thank you.
Okay, so first of all, I really like the smiles of Guoyu 老师, which make the environment inviting. That is important for students. And then second of all, based on the learning pyramid, we know that group discussion is an effective way to promote learning retention. And Guoyu 老师has just demonstrated how real group discussion worked. Thank you. Yeah, and any questions for Guoyu 老师? Or maybe I may have one. So when we conduct a group discussion, how do you prevent students from using ChatGPT to get the standard answer?
Most of the time, the ChatGPT's answer is not so specific. Therefore, maybe they could give a student the whole picture of this question. However, if they wanted to know more or more detail, then they need to base on their reading or some experience, like the internship experience or working experience or baseline knowledge, something like that. Therefore, I think because teacher most of the time see a lot, therefore if children use ChatGPT, that we may know that they know just the direction, but they need to understand more detail.
Actually, I would like to salute you because it's already very hard to teach such kind of course in Chinese, not to mention English. So it's really a challenge, but I really like your attitude. It's very good that you use video because it's really hard to understand. So perhaps if possible, I would suggest you put Chinese behind Tourette syndrome because this is quite difficult to understand, even though you have one sentence description. So using video, this is very good, very effective. And group discussion is also very good, and same for your cooperation to make the activity successful. So wonderful and really challenging. But I personally have a question I would like to ask you. For such kind of syndrome, is it possible that they can be totally cured by taking medicine or by taking a different exercise, try to have more control of their behavior? Is it possible, or is they have to carry this syndrome for their life?
After 14 years old, 1/3 of them, the symptom will disappear. The other 1/3 that will decrease the symptom. However, 1/3 will continue to show their tic disorder. However, they have learned how to cover their embarrassing or cover their tic disorder. They have their strategy, special strategy to face the situation.
So for those 1/3, they have to take medicine for life?
But because we just know the reason why they have tic disorder, but it's not like the cancer or other disease. We know the specific what's wrong with the body. Therefore, we don't have the medicine really could treat it. We use the other medicine like hard or something. Try to know which medicine is useful for them. But most of the time have a lot of side effects, but very work. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for the answer.
Okay, our next presenter will be 刘凯林老师。
谢谢你们，好棒！
Good afternoon, everyone. And my name is Liu, and first I must apologize for my very, very poor English, and even I don't know why I'm here. So I want to make a very short introduction myself. I am teaching media design, the animation, like the filmmaker or illustrator in Zheng Technology University. When almost of my students, they are just like drawing or something. So many of the students, they didn't want to speak English. They will say, why should I use English? So when I want to try to use some maybe software in class, maybe Adobe Photoshop, so the surface is English, the student will be so, oh no, I don't want to use this software because it's English. So they just want to use the UI is Chinese. But I said, it's like feel like effect. There are many tutorials in the internet from the America or something. So I always say you want to learn or you want to put yourself in the English. You want to try. And this is my field. I think the voice is louder, and it's too long, so I'm talking about animation. Okay, the animation is I talk to make faster. I'm also this speech. Sorry, I'm recording it too long. And one of the function is the turnaround. Okay, this is on the screen. So whenever it is going to the animation or reading the animation, turnaround is very important area. Because the turnaround is a showcase of character unit growth. It's from the bottom of the character. So you can see whether it's really really computer animation or handling, your character is a human or multi-human, so turnaround is technical. So you can see animation is built up with. It is not just make the character move. It's more about because when I always use so every class I will record it, but not my face. I will use maybe like a VTuber or something, a face to them. But I try to let students they will see in a audio or in a YouTube workshop by playing sometimes then. It really means it's like Chinese business 栩栩如生。How I can find education by the real life. So this is financial job to breathe life into mostly in American thing. Okay, let's talk about today's focus is a technical shape because it's a mission, so when we talk about mission, we will remind the mission about the company Disney animation. So when I was learning animation, it's many years ago, we don't have Chinese textbook, so we just try to read the English textbook from the Disney. We try to draw that picture to learn on how the animation is moved. Because as we know, when we want to create an animation, it requires time from people and the whole production is like a research work. So we show the character material in context that from start to end. The worthless expression. So in this this is subtitle is YouTube automatic maybe some mistake in subtitle. So this is the first book of animation. That's book is I wrote. So I think so. Okay. I think animation is just drawing, but it's more students want to learn or they want a text book. So I try to write a book because I read. So I don't know this one page like primary school or junior high school, senior high school. They want to learn animation, so they want how to learn by systems. So in here, that is we animation about survival tools become instant material with balance of computer. So I will recommend them three times. One is one for that, and one for shirt, one shirt, and one is down to your child. Okay, that's it. Okay, actual says okay, in here we see the visible animation and the trend. But actually, the things to consider by animation is very important that we are so the principle of animation so every time I teach students animation ability is maybe 3 months or 4 months they want to draw this animation because animation isn't just about making the character complete. in facilitating them real world. We can see some confirmation when animated, we change the shape or change the shape, when we draw animation, not just a 3D. Face animation just not movement. Is try to make like a powerful, like really eating people. Okay, this is I think is most important principle in animation is scratch and when we animate we will change like we do. So this is lesson one. Always the students whenever you want to make 2D animation or 3D animation or something like slow motion, you must know this is like when you want to animate anything, you want to learn, the character will change the shape. Okay, you can see the first lesson for animators is during this step, or just some of the students will think animation just move, just picture. So when I draw a ball, it's move, it's okay. As you know, you want to try to make it like power. You just change the position here and here. Also, it's like playing like this. So if you apply the swatch and scratch and stretch, you can see, okay, we can see here, okay, when if we with this swatch or apply, we rotate or compress the bread, we can get it great as the function away. Also, special structure has to. So not just what the ball, it's like the character, like the human face, like an animal or something. You must prove, you must to make your face to give them. Even though the really face even different developers, so just category. This technique makes character more engaged. Like here, when you want to run or to jump, so we want to squash your body to put your power and prepare to jump. So when you jump, your body will straight. Okay, so we can see this sample. If one some of the students will think of I want to draw animation, so I can draw a beautiful face. It's okay. But you know, you want like the extra, you want to know how the people will to sell the face or mouth or like eyes. As Zheng is getting emphasize her speech, and so this work is like speech and strength is between animation, production, not just in 2D, animation is like dimension of the animation. So it's like not mainly this gallery animation, the other something you must use this principle. Thank you for your attention.
So in my opinion, this course is a good combination of theory and practice. And when we say to see is to believe, we see a lot of animations that help us better understand the basic principle. Thank you. And any questions for?
Are you still nervous now? Are you still nervous? No. You are very nervous. Okay. I'm not sure whether you also have such kind of behavior in the class or you are more composed. I believe your student will be tolerant. So you have to show your confidence. Okay? So don't be nervous in front of your student. Okay? Actually, this is a very interesting topic, media design. So I believe some of your students are already mastered in this field. Okay? So perhaps you do not have to give so many contents. You can invite them. If you have assignment for them, you can show their work in front of the class and invite them to share. Okay, in public. And because like in a few minutes ago, I really came here when we were talking about because there are two speakers. Okay, one is here, one is here. So in such a case, you may need to mute the speaker and let us hear your personal voice rather than it's a little bit alone. I can't hear what you're talking about. So although these are very, very minor skills, but I would like to bring your attention because I would like you to be a confident teacher in the future. In front of your student, you have to be composed, confident, and invite them participation. If I were you, I may since you pre-video those things for us, you can video some of your students' work rather than you put it out contents, because contents-wise is not that important right now because students can get it from internet from a lot of places. So I always tell that the teacher are facilitator. Don't be a speaker. You are facilitator. You facilitate students to join the class and express their opinion and try to interact with each other. So I'm very frank with you, but I would like you to be a good teacher in the future. Okay, but still, good. Okay, we have a lot of courage. Thank you.
So what I see in common is that every presenter have shown very great passion on EMI. So we will have our final presentation from Zheng老师。
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Zheng. I'm an assistant professor at University of Taipei. I'm in the Department of Psychology and Counseling. So I'm going to demonstrate a class. Well, I usually call it Psychology 101, and it's a class for freshman students, and it's a required course. But our official name should be like General Psychology. And then there are 58 students in the class. So most of them are freshmen in my own department, but our class is very popular among other students. So almost every time I have to give out a lot of sign-up sheet. So 55 is the maximum, but I accept 58. The language, English proficiency, I think ranged quite extreme. I did an assessment before the class starts, and as you see, some of them got a really high score on TOEIC, or GEPT 全民英检, like they got like medium to high levels. However, some of them got like 全民英检, like the first, like the very basic one. And we just had our, well, a few weeks ago we just had our midterm exam, and I usually only give them like multiple choices to answer. And the scores, it's a little bit frustrating actually. The scores range from 20 out of 100 to 98 out of 100. And it's like very split half and half, like 50% they got a passing score, and then 50% got the like under 60. So this is the class after the midterm, and so the topic is about learning. And I feel sometimes we talk about, in psychology, we talked about memory, we talked about learning, and so after the midterm exam, I actually changed my teaching a little bit. So I just taught this class last week. I was gonna record it, but I lost my voice a bit due to the cold. So I decided to go live demonstration. And usually, first in my course, I went over some behavior expectations as well, and that's across all my classes regarding in Mandarin or in English, and so I'll show you what I meant. All right, good afternoon, everyone. How's everyone doing? Great. Okay. I hope you are enjoying the nice weather outside. Take the advantage of this to go outside and have a walk, well, after class. I know you're sleeping right now, but hang in there. We'll do some exercise together to get through. And that pause here, sometimes, because my class is from 1 o'clock to 3 o'clock, just right after lunch. So I don't do this very often, but sometimes I will ask students to go outside to walk for 5 minutes and then come back. It's not that I'm slacking. Yeah, I think they get fresh air if the weather is nice. Get them to have a little bit fresh air and come back to get ready to class. All right. So we went over I'll go over some behavior expectations in my classrooms. You can do like 5 minutes rule. So within 5 minutes, you're on time. And thank you all being so on time here today. Remember our cell phone rules and the electronic rules about it. So make sure you use your laptops, tablets, cell phones only within the class use. Very important, as you can tell, I'm very sick from my voice. And so after the midterm, you have a lot of stress. Therefore, so please take care of yourself. I usually ask you to take care of yourself, but in this time, in the meantime, also care for your classmates, your friends, your family members, see if they are doing well. And also, in the beginning of the semester, we talked about what respectful behaviors are like. Okay. So, right now, let's do one more practice together. Okay, so do you guys see this? The glass, yeah? And then you watch a movie, when there's a wedding, when someone is giving a talk, they will do like this, right? Yeah, okay. So, when you hear this, it's not lollipop. When you hear about then please have your eyes on me and then stop what you're doing. Okay, so let's do a practice. So turn to your neighbors to share what you have for dinner or what's enjoyable for you right now in your life. Just to check in with each other and have a small chat with each other, okay? Okay. Cool. Excellent job. Great. Okay, I with your full engagement with me. But what just happened? What just happened when I tap this? And why? Why do you stop what you're doing? You're just talking about something fun and enjoyable, and what's for dinner, and what's so delicious. But when you hear the sound, you stop what you're doing, and then have your attention on me. What just happened? Yes. Do you know why?
I'm still working on it. Maybe it's about the sound. It's really, attract me a lot.
Great. Thanks for answering that. So you hear the sound. It's a stimulus. And then I just told you before we start the practice, and I want you to have your full attention on me when you hear this sound. So stimulus with your responses, behaviors, right? So there's a connection between these two. And that's what we're going to talk about today. It's about learning. And then you all have your textbook. If you haven't, it's a bit late. It's already online, and you don't have to buy them. So hopefully you're very familiar with your textbook right now. We're going to talk about chapter 6. All right. So here are 4 parts. Here are 4 parts in this chapter. And so for 6.1, all right, Shan, what are we going to talk about 6.1? I usually will write it down immediately, so should show them. So 6.1 is what is learning. Great. And what about 6.2? Maybe 6.2 is about classical conditioning. Okay, so conditioning is a word you guys will show. Usually I will tag. And conditioning is usually we refer to a stimulus and a response is the connection with each other. We will talk a bit more when we go through 6.2. How about 6.3? Okay. Jaren. Oh, 6.3 is operant. Oh, that's okay. You don't know how to say operant. Let's try again. Operant conditioning. Oh, also a bit harder words. And then 6.4. Okay. Anxian. Good. 6.4 is observational learning. So we have actually 3 kinds of learning we are going to talk about. But for today's class, we will go over 6.1 and 6.2. Okay. So after today's class, you should be able to understand what learning means, and then you are able to differentiate what is and what is not learning. Okay. And then about 6.2 classical conditioning. Now you see conditioning, the word, and you will come back over and over. So make sure you're good friends with conditioning this word. Okay. You have to know who Pavlov is and what he did and why is he so important. Also, after today's class, you should be able to understand what classical conditioning is. And there are some important terms. You should make sure you know what they are. So UCR, UCS, CS, and CR. So which stands for unconditioned stimulus and unconditioned responses. CS is conditioned stimulus and conditioned responses. Okay. So, what is learning? It's quite a topic, right? And what we just did about the glass, it's a kind of learning as well. You learn to stop what you're doing. You learn these behaviors. You hear the sound, and then associate with stop what you're doing. Put your eyes on your teacher. Okay. So learning helps everybody, including animals, including human beings, to adapt the environment. But this is through change and experiences. Okay. So it's actually a relative permanent change. It requires you learn from experiences. But how would you learn this so quickly? Like learn to, oh, I hear the sound. and have to stop what you're doing. This is because the past experience kind of told you here's something like unusual in the environment, and also what your teacher just told you to do and you have to follow. Things like this. So learning can be very complex and also can be simple. It involves conscious and unconscious process. So some of the learning we are not that aware through your conscious process. For example, everyone knows how to ride a bike, right? Yeah. So riding a bike is for you somewhat I would not say it's that unconscious, but rather than it's implicit, it's automatic. You don't have to like memorize how to ride a bike. You immediately jump to the bike and your movements, your body starts moving. So it's also a kind of learning as well. Alright, so when we define a little bit about what is learning, still probably a little bit confusing for you. So let's take a look at what is now learning. So there are some behaviors we human beings or animals do. They are not learned. They are more like instincts and reflexes. So these are we are born with. So a physical body or it's very natural. And so it's also a way of helping us to adapt the environment. So I have a picture of a baby here. Oh, the PowerPoint is cut. Sorry about that. So reflexes is a moral or neural reactions to a specific stimulus. So very, very basic one. The first reflexes is our babies. They know, they immediately know, and almost every mammals, every kind of mammal knows how to do this. It's the reflex of sucking. So they have this. We are born with this to be able to get food, to be able to get the milk from the moms. And so this is not entirely. This is not learned behaviors. It's more like a reflex. It's natural, so we don't call this as learning. And then instinct is a little bit more complex than reflexes. And so I have a bird flying here. Have you noticed that every winter there are a lot of birds flying from the north to the south? How do they know? This is a way of dealing with very harsh winter, right? So it's built in their body. They are doing this to help them survive, help their population to grow, and it's an instinct for them. The path, or how they fly, or how they avoid the airplane can be learned. So that's a little bit learning, but when they fly from the north to the south, this is part of their instinct. Okay. Alright, so we're back to what is learning again. Okay. So when we talked about learning in our chapter, we will talk about other learning in 2 weeks as well, about thinking, about intelligence. But in this chapter, we will talk about things more related to association. So in the very beginning, we did the exercise together, right? So you put the ding 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 sound with stop what you're doing. This is an association between a stimulus and what you do, behaviors, responses, things like that. So here are 3 approaches, and remember what they are. They are just 6.2, 6.3, 6.4, right? So this is what we're gonna learn this week and the next week. All right. So classical conditioning, operant conditioning, and observational conditioning. So we're gonna introduce these 3 approaches. Oh, by the way, conditioning with our pets. I don't know if any of you have pets. Anyone? Want to share? Okay. So whether you have dogs or cats, well, cats are very hard to train. I have cats myself, and well, I'm a good behavior specialist. I'm a good psychologist, but I'm not a good mom to parent or train my cats. But dogs, we often do this to do a lot of tricks. So holding hands, lay down, and we can even train dogs to help us help people with difficulties. And so we use a lot of conditioning to do so in order to train our dogs or other animals to help us or accompany us or make us happy, things like that. So hopefully after today's class you can somewhat know it's important to make the stimulus and your reactions together. Okay, so finally we're at 6.2, so look at classical conditioning, and this is the person I told you in the beginning that he's very important, so remember who he is. Okay, so Ivan Pavlov, well, he's not a psychologist, he's not studying in psychology, he's a physiologist. He actually got a Nobel Prize because of his study, but he's studying the digestive system. So he studies dogs like this. Okay. And we will watch the video in a short minute, so let me explain a little bit. Oh, it's not very clear actually. Yeah. Okay. And so he studies dogs' digestive systems. So he put a tube by the chin of the dog here, and then actually count how many saliva how many saliva the dog produces, and can measure how many cc's in that tube. Yeah, and he actually, I think, from what I read, he found out classical conditioning a little bit by accident. So like I said, he originally didn't study the behaviors of the dogs. He studied how much saliva they produce. But he found out, we think it's so important because the classical conditioning is that he found out he can pair something neutral, so like a bell and some staffs walking paired with the food to make the dog produce saliva. So we will watch the video, and so students will watch the video. I have 1 minute left. Okay. So that's what I explained a little bit about the conditioning process. So when we say before conditioning, when dogs smell or thinks he's getting food, like meat, the dog will produce saliva in their mouth, and the food is the unconditioned stimulus, and the saliva is more like a reflex, it's unconditioned. But during condition, we will pair a neutral stimulus with the food. And so after the conditioning, that means the neutral, like the bell sound, will become conditioned. So even without presenting the food, the dog will still produce the saliva. So that's the CS and the CR. We use some abbreviation to help you understand this process a little bit. So here's more illustration. So there is a process, and we will do a practice. I have to show you this very fun cartoon. So this is the cartoon of the classical conditioning, and actually the dog is thinking. So he thinks, watch what I do, like what I can make Pavlov do. As soon as I draw is you have saliva by your mouth. Pavlov will smile and write down on the notebook. So the dog is telling another dog that he's conditioning Pavlov's behaviors. Okay, so we will do this practice with your pair together. And here's the scenario. Mary feels very anxious each time she has to take an exam. Yeah, so identify what is the UCS, UCR, or CS and CR. And I have another practice they will take home. Okay. So here's my presentation. So thank you very much for your attention.
So in the presentation, I realized the importance of keeping students busy, and regularly picking students can make them awake and stay focused. So I believe that Yu Hong Laoshi must have a question, right?
Oh, really?
Or
I think sir teaching is really good. Yeah, from the perspective of psychologist, it's amazing, and you really provide a clear and comprehensive lecturing about the stimulus, traditional learning theory. Yeah, so I really appreciate it. And I would like to ask a question. What if students, because I also teach this topic, we talk about UCS, UCR, and CSCR, and I think it is a little bit hard or difficult for them to understand this kind of concept. So will you provide more or what kind of elaboration on these concepts if the students do not understand this kind of abstract concepts? Thank you.
I think I taught this. I taught this is my third year to teach Psychology 101, and so I teach this topic a lot. And I also do behavior. I'm a behavior specialist, so I'm very behaviorism. And so I try to use a lot of daily examples, but I have to say, if I just put UCS, UCR, it's hard for them to connect. Yeah, so that's why I use practice like this, and I will try to ask them to observe their daily life, or observe their relationship with their club friends or their boyfriend or girlfriends to observe, and I also have some small quiz and assignments each week for them to write down, but I think they're easy like this, like a little bit like the example you see, like they have to identify the scenario, or they have to find a real life example themselves. Yeah, but I agree, even though I teach it many times and I also study in this field a lot, I still find a lot of terms that very jargon to hard to understand. Yeah, even though they are in our daily life all the time. So yeah, I use a lot of their part-time job, 打工, or yeah. I think in the morning I learned like use the Korean idols to enlist students' responses. It's good. So a lot of them love Korean pop culture. Yeah, and I think that's a good idea as well.
Yeah, totally agree.
So I like your example in the beginning about the concept. I never thought about using Korean, but Korean culture to do that. So thank you.
Information for your demonstration is a very comprehensive one, very good teaching point from the very beginning, objective, until the end. And we'll also touch about what you're going to do next week. So this is a very comprehensive one, and the flow is all very, very very competent as well teacher. And I particularly appreciate your very warm beginning. You ask students to greet each other to see whether they are good in the past legal or something. Sometimes the teacher can use that. We have something called a mood meter. 1 to 10, what's your mood today? Are you in 8 or are you in 6? So this is a very warm beginning. Very good. And actually conditioning and offering really jogging. That's not easy to understand. So I think they will use a very good strategy, teaching strategy.